What's up? So this is new, by the way. We're okay. We don't have to start with the official intro for the live stream, boys and girls, because we have a slightly new format where we have intros for each segment. So this feels a bit weird, but because normally when the camera goes on, I'm right there and I'm introducing the pod. But that's okay. We're gonna go into the first section in a bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about price action as always. But before we do, Eno, how you doing? Everything good?
I'm doing pretty good. Are you eating something? What the fuck is? What do you got gum in your mouth?
So I used the break because I felt a little bit under sugared, so I took two bites in my protein bar. But I'm good now. I think I'm ready. So yeah, welcome to the stream, guys. So we're gonna, for going forward, the live streams are gonna feel a little bit more cozy at the beginning because we're gonna cut the first couple minutes of the stream out of the recordings, and then everything that happens after the official intro happens lands into the videos on YouTube. So that's the plan. So actually, that's good, because now we're also allowed to say GM to people that drop a GM at the beginning, like BM, for example, who was literally in this room with me 5 minutes ago, 10 minutes ago. So GM, BM, and Cryptominator. Musk is also in the house. He says GM, my brothers.
GM, hey, what's up, Musk? How are you?
But yeah, we do have a lot to chat about today, so we're gonna get to it now. We are definitely gonna dive in. The only thing I'm not 100% sure of, is where we do the today we'll be discussing kind of section, the agenda, in which YouTube video that would fit. Probably in the main one in the middle, I guess, after the TA. When I do the normal intro, I think then I will start with the okay, cool.
Yeah, we're figuring this out. We also have Sarthik over from, I believe, Flash Trade. I could be wrong about this, but good to see you, brother. And and Kirby, I mean, you can work out all you want, but that doesn't mean you have any balls. So apparently that's their slogan. I don't know. Nice. I'm pretty sure it's Will behind this account. Like, I'm 99% sure it's Will. He says that it's not. He says, like, just because it's an edgy comment, I'm all like, I think that's Will. 1% or no balls.
Kirby.
Not financial advice.
Never. Nothing we say here is financial advice. We're going to say that a few more times today. But I think, okay. So we're gonna start with the TA. We're gonna go into prices. We're gonna wrap this topic up. There needs to be some sort of outro as well, so there needs to be a clear end of that TA section. I'll do that. And then we're gonna head over to the macro market news and wrap that up quickly, and then Solana news. So in that order, we're gonna do today. Nice and straightforward, to the point, okay? Not too much left and right yapping, because we want to respect you guys' time as well and our own, and get straight to the point, because this is not a sprint. It's not a marathon. Actually, this is a live stream sprint. We're gonna give you the roundhouse kick of information. Are you ready, to dive into the TA section? If yes, then I'll kick it off.
Fucking ready. Let's go.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the coziest part of Solana's finest podcast, Sol Brothers. Markets, prices, charts, and technical analysis. We got a lot of price action to discuss because it doesn't look too good on the charts. Did you follow the price action a little bit over the past days?
Yeah, no, I've been looking at the price action the last couple of days, and I've been telling the why I won't give those numbers here, but I've been giving progressively lower and lower numbers to my wife for when might be an attractive time for her to buy.
Yeah, it is unfortunately right now the situation that the bottom is not clearly identified yet, and how that looks like, we're gonna check it out right at the charts. If you may pull up the screen share of the Solana chart for us here real quick. We are looking at the 4-hour chart of the mother coin Solana, and as everyone can see, there's a clear break that happened on the 2nd of November, so literally beginning of this month, where we broke through the resistance or through the support line better, and are now in the C wave to the downside, this larger C correction. So I'm tracking an ABC structure here, starting from the high in September, where we saw the $250, and then from there, right now, I'm tracking a corrective move. There's no, like, in the larger structure here, if you really look at the 4-hour chart, and if we like declutter this a little bit, since the high, there's no there's no impulse to the downside really. There's like there's just waves, right? Wave counts. It's more like a diagonal structure. So I can't really identify any kind of 5-wave move to the downside here, which is usually the first indication that a trend reversal has started. If you can identify a 4-hour or one on the daily chart, a 5-wave move to the downside, there would be a trend reversal from this uptrend. But for now, all I can see is a 3-wave move to the downside, which is just a corrective structure. That corrective structure is right now in its last instance, in its last leg to the downside, which is the C wave. And that C wave might be finished already now or quite soon. That is for us not to decide really. It's for the markets to decide. But what I can tell you is that this impulse here to the downside, basically the break of the Simon support line, as I think, Emo, you gave that line the name, so that legendary. Thanks for slapping my name on that line. But we broke it. So the SSL, Simon support line, has been broken. And that is the 3rd wave to the downside. Then a 4th wave to the upside to kind of tap into this resistance up here. And we got rejected in the 0.618. And now we are in this 5th wave to the downside. And then within that 5th wave, obviously that 5th wave, might be completed. That is the 5th wave here in brackets. If this 5th wave concludes, that will also conclude the C wave, which is larger, one level higher. And then the smallest microstructure I'm counting here started right here on the 10th of November with a 1, 2, 3. And now we were in this kind of 4th wave sideways move. But then over the weekend, yesterday actually, on a Sunday, we did see this pullback here that brought us to lower prices yet again, $134.41. On the 4-hour chart, we have tapped into oversold territory twice. One time quite heavily with an RSI of 19.55, heavily oversold. And now we're tapping in it again, but we are printing a higher low on the RSI chart while we're printing a lower low on the price chart. What does that tell us? That could be a bullish divergence between RSI and price action. So whenever we see that kind of structure evolving, that is usually some signal of a reversal, and we can probably see that even here in other moments where we had like a very low RSI of 15 here in February this year. Basically, the last big drawdown was in February this year. That's where we saw similar levels, but then the price went even lower after this, but the RSI didn't went as low as 15, right? And then after this, we went up. So there was a divergence that we were able to identify on the charts, and we can see that happening right now. I can't rule out another low though. Okay, so I want to make that clear here in the TA section, where I cannot give any financial advice. So whatever the fuck we're saying here, especially me, it is not financial advice because I don't know what's going to happen. Eno doesn't know what's going to happen. But I think this structure right now just doesn't look completed, right? I need to confirm that we're actually breaking out to the upside again. We at least need to break the 4th wave kind of support here at $152. If we break through this, that's going to be a good sign. Then we need to start to see a micro count of a 5-wave move. Okay, so 1 up, 2 down, 3 impulse up, 4 down, 5 up, right? And this brings us again below $200 probably, and then we can start to talk about a trend reversal. So with all that being said, right, like people always want to catch the lowest point and then just ride the whole movement up. Is that realistic though? That is luck. Like if you're able to do that, and it happened to all of us, like maybe we were lucky before, but that is literally luck because there's no confirmation that we're actually turning around. What you can do if you want to trade with a little bit more facts around your strategies, you can wait for these confirmations, structural support or resistance being broken, like the fib levels here, wave patterns being completed after a 5-wave move to the upside. You wait for a 3-wave drawdown, and in that 3-wave drawdown, you start to scale in again because the 5-wave move to the upside indicated a trend reversal. So bottom line, what I can say is it is not looking too good, right? Bitcoin actually did cross the 55-week moving average here in the last weekly candle yesterday. We did not hold that support anymore, but it's also not over yet. Okay, like I'm not ready yet. Ask me again in 1-2 weeks, but right now I'm not ready to open the bear market. But we are in a decision point. We are in a decision point right now where we basically decide the fate for the upcoming months, maybe even, right? Because if we can't manage to get out of here, if Bitcoin is going to drop lower, maybe even until the $75,000 level here in the next support level, that would be fairly bearish. If we can turn around right here where we are right now, maybe we'll drop a little bit lower. I think there's a CME gap. You know what a CME gap is,
I do not, actually.
So the CME is a future exchange that where you can trade futures on Bitcoin on the CME exchange, which closes on the weekend. And the weekend prints these gaps where the price closes and then opens again. And that happens a few times on the Bitcoin chart. On the weekly chart, you can see probably some larger gaps like here in the 70,000 kind of area here. But if you zoom in a little bit into a daily chart, I believe there might be also some smaller gaps right here in the 92 point, what is this, 4 area, small gap. And these gaps in the chart, they are usually seeking to be filled, which is very interesting. So if there was a gap before, then the price, and actually that happened almost, right? The price retests that level of the CME gap in the chart in the prior sector, and then it will close it at some point. So a lot of traders actually look at that CME gaps. So right now there was a gap right here, a small one. Price is starting to tap into that, and that is also providing some structural support for a reversal. So that is just another kind of indicator that we can look at to decide where prices go next. Because it is right now, like I said, we are looking at it's time to decide, right? It's decision time really, to see where we're going here in this whole market. And let me tell you, it is gonna stay interesting for the next 2 weeks. The government is open again, US government. We're gonna see more data coming in soon, and I think that might move things. So I think I'm still leaning personally towards a reversal at some moment, because right now people start to not expect it anymore, which is usually exactly when it happens. Extreme fear in the market, on the fear and greed right now, is usually a sign that we are about to turn around. But we haven't done it yet. So if we're not making a breakthrough now, then I would probably stop opening any longs, and just, if you want to get exposure, start nibbling, which is DCA in small portions while we go down. That's probably the smartest way to anticipate or to partake in the following move if it is a bear market. Yeah, so I think that is all I can say for now on this beautiful Monday, the 17th of November, to give people a little update on the charts and the markets. And we'll see where we go from here. I think the next week already, in 7 days, we'll have actually more clarity on the future of these assets.
Yeah.
Makes sense to you, my friend?
Yeah, makes sense to me. Even if the next 7 days doesn't play out particularly well, I don't really care, because bear markets are phenomenal opportunities to do 2 things. Number one is to buy at a much lower price, buy the dip, not financial advice. And the second thing that bear markets are really good for is, especially if you're a builder, finding people who actually care about building things, right? Because folks that are here for extractive reasons only stay as long as the financial incentive is here. And if there's no financial incentive, they tend to scurry away like cockroaches. So very happy to have a little bit of a quieter market as well. That doesn't bother me so much. And it looks like we have lost Simon temporarily. Not quite so sure what happened, but now he's back. Hello.
We don't know. My Wi-Fi just decided to fuck off. Sorry, I'm in a location where I haven't streamed before. But I kind of wrapped up the section, right? I think we can. I hope that was still in the. Where did I get cut off?
And that just ends the coziest part of the podcast. Yes, Simon, you did close it off very nicely.
Awesome. I think. Okay, Josh, thanks. He can patch that together to kind of make sure that it works in the recording. But now it is time for Soul Brothers macro news.
Right. Soul Brothers Macro News is your bi-weekly update that covers all the macroeconomic conditions that affect the price. So obviously not financial advice, but we do want to give you a little bit of context as to what the fuck is going on around the world. So the first thing that we're going to start off with hello, Mr. Chairman, is Monday. So that's today. The U.S. government will be reopening. We are back in business, baby. And number two, there's going to be a federal liquidity injection somewhere to the tune of $10 to $20 billion. I do have questions about this. Maybe you know the answer. Number three, of course, we have the FOMC meeting on Wednesday, Thursday, manufacturing PMI data. I do not know what PMI is. That's another question I have. And Friday, U.S. inflation expectations. The source is from the Bloomberg Economic Calendar. TLDR, Simon, there's a lot of shit that's happening in the U.S. The U.S. is not the world, but the U.S. does affect the markets quite a bit. So your takes on this, and let me know when you're able to answer a couple of my dumbass questions.
For sure. Dumbass questions. I think this week is quite significant to start with the easy stuff, because government is reopening. So that's a big one. It has been quite messy in the past weeks. I think the government has been shut down for almost 40 days, 41 days or some shit. It's been historical. And just to take a step back here, the reason was because just Democrats, Republicans didn't find a common ground on budgets. And to my understanding, Republicans, they keep cutting shit. They just wanna cut everything and spend less. And Democrats are like, bro, like we have bills to pay, we have programs to run, we have healthcare, we have like a lot of things, social programs that need budget. You can't just cut everything. So there's like these two camps. Finally, I guess they behaved like adults and found some sort of solution to the topic. And now, as you said, we're back in business. So that means we can now get government data again, because literally the government data wasn't coming in, which I have never actually experienced that before, that you can't get unemployment data because the job office for data is closed and no one is working. It's like, okay, everyone is relying on that data, like markets are relying on the data. So I feel like the past weeks we've been in limbo because of that. It's just like so much uncertainty in the market. And you know what traders hate the most? Uncertainty. So I think I really wouldn't underestimate what it means to have the government reopen right now. So that's one thing. And then we have a bunch of interesting data coming in. I think on Wednesday, there's the FOMC meeting. And we can expect that at least we will get maybe some hints, right? Further hints at rate cuts. So that is why this has significance, because if we get further rate cuts, it is usually perceived as bullish for risk on assets. So we are basically all hoping for further rate cuts right now. And then we have the job data on Thursday coming in. So we have unemployment rates, we have non-farm employment change, we have average hourly earnings. So basically just job market health. And if the job market health, is not performing very well, then that will also have impact on the interest rate decisions in return. And again, interest rate decisions for risk on assets. So the mandate of the Fed is to keep the job market stable and inflation. So those are two things that are also in constant battle with each other, basically. So if the inflation, as right now, is trending upwards and is at least not being not as stable to the downside, I think we're pushing to the 3% on average right now. Then the Fed needs to use its mandate and do monetary policy that will get the rates back, or not the rates, but the inflation rate back into a healthy radium, which is 2% usually. But that impacts job markets negatively. So that's why they always have to kind of compete for each other. And right now it looks like the Fed wants to push for healthy job markets and cares a little bit less about inflation. that means rate cuts. And then on Friday this week, we do have the PMI coming in. That is the Purchasing Managers Index. And yeah, that is basically just a survey of a bunch of purchasing managers. And they are asked to rate the relative level of business conditions, including employment, production, new orders, prices, and so on. So it's basically just a bunch of producer economic data, right, from purchasing managers. And that also tells something about the health of the US economy. Yeah, so yeah, it's PMI is a leading indicator for economic health. It has substantial economic significance. That's coming on Friday as well. So it's a big week, I would say. We will see volatility in the markets as always, maybe a little bit more than usual, especially because of the reopening of the US government. So I think today, actually, we're going to see that. Right now, the US&A is still asleep, if I'm not mistaken. So I think, what time is it over there right now? It should be, yeah, like middle of the night, basically. And the US markets are going to open in 4, 5, 6 hours-ish, 7 hours. So we still have some time. But until then, or by then, we should see some decisions, actually, I think, of how this week might play out.
Yeah. So another question I have is, what the fuck is a liquidity injection, and how exactly does that work, and where are they injecting that liquidity? It says like on today, or actually tomorrow, Tuesday, there's going to be a liquidity injection somewhere between $10 to $20 billion. I don't even know what the fuck that means.
I haven't read about it, honestly. Like, I haven't read that they do it, but it obviously sounds like they're doing quantitative easing already, or some preamble of it. Basically just either creating money out of thin air. That's usually bottom line under the, if you go to the end of it, that's usually what happens. But yeah, just adding to the balance sheet, right? Bringing liquidity into the market. So I don't know how they exactly do it. You can do some digging on that. But overall, if it happens, obviously liquidity is good for risk-on assets, not so good for inflation. So again, you always fight battles as politicians, right? That's why it's actually a very tough job, because you always, like, you make one camp happy, and then the other camp is mad at you. So inflation goes up, but then liquidity gets increased, and everyone, gets a bit more, like markets get a push in the short term.
Yeah. It seems that you guys obviously know better than I do. We have a viewer, Alexander Gray, who, laugh emoji, printing money, quantitative easing. So yes, looks like that is ding, 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 the correct answer. But of course, we're going to move over to more, macro market news. So the next thing that we want to talk about is the namesake of this podcast, which is the, affectionately called the Golden Age. It's a, Trump, the administration. I have a lot of criticisms of them, but the one thing I will say is that they're very, very good at packaging what a set of policies is supposed to do, right? Which is half the battle of being a good, politician, is understanding like how to communicate what the fuck it is that you're doing, right? And that is a part of the game of good governance. And essentially, the Golden Age is a bundling of 3 different policies. I'm sure there's more inside the bill, but the big headliners are: number 1, no tax on tips; number 2, no tax on overtime; and number 3, no tax on Social Security. And at face value, as a populist myself, I think that these are good things. Those are very good things. We don't want taxes on tips. We don't want taxes on overtime. And we don't want taxes on Social Security. Now, that paves the way for a lot of abuse of the system. So we have to see how restaurants and different establishments, try to. I mean, like, it can be a very dangerous game when you enact policies like this, right? Like how will employers try to abuse the system to benefit themselves, right? But that being said, I do enjoy the spirit of these proposals. I'm already thinking of the secondary and tertiary effects of a policy like this, which on its face looks very good. It's all about the enforcement, and it's all about what the letter of the law is going to be. So I'm curious to see what exactly the bill looks like, but at face value, I actually really like this piece of legislation.
Yeah, again, the thing is always with that. I mean, I also like it, right? Like taxes are, some people, they say they're criminal. They're stealing money from the common folk. There's a huge discussion, right, to be had here on the system of taxes. It's time in place, or it's place and time right now. But the thing is, these countries don't work without taxes. U.S. government doesn't really have a good kind of debt sheet right now. Like they're literally the most over-debted country in the world, and it's not getting better. It's getting worse by the day, right? Like you can actually check out the debt clock on Google, where you can. I think we had it open before, where you can follow the how the debt is going up. And right now, I'm looking at. I don't really know what that number is.
38 trillion. Yeah.
204 billion. So it's basically just like a random number that has no significance anymore, because you don't even like 38 trillion. What does it even mean? Like that in the back here, that thing that goes up by the second, that's hundreds of thousands. Right? It's like 300,000. Now we have 400,000 debt. Now we have 500,000 debt. Now we have 6. Like it's literally like. I mean, it's a lot of debt. Let's put it that way. So how the fuck do you get rid of that debt? Difficult. With taxes, you probably won't get rid of it anyway with taxes. I think it's just so might as well make the folk happy. It's like, I think Trump's like, I give up. Like, we need to solve this problem otherwise. Maybe by issuing stable coins that are pegged to the US dollar, that will increase our US dollar expansion in the whole world. There's actually a case to be made for that topic. I think US stablecoins are really good for US debt problems, but that's another conversation. And I think right now he's just trying to look good, because when is the next election coming up? Do you know that?
Midterms are coming next year, which brings us very, very nicely. Great segue, Simon. You were such a smooth criminal, which is, just an incredible development. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, is essentially saying that we will see a huge acceleration in Q1 or Q2 of next year, which is, drumroll please, just in time for the midterms, all part of the plan. The increase in real incomes, Americans will feel it in Q1 and Q2 of 2026, thanks to Trump's plans, will be a great year for working Americans, for the markets. I call it parallel prosperity. Main Street and Wall Street can both do great. So, obviously, I don't love the timing of economic policy with any political cycle, because the incentives are all fucked up and wrong. But that being said, if you were going to play that game, this game has been masterfully played.
Yeah, let's see how good the US economy is really gonna look like next year. But I think it might work, actually, guys. It might work that the world is gonna last a little bit longer, because we're putting some duct tape, on all the leaks right now that we have, and we're gonna make another year, right? But unfortunately, most of us here are young. We're in our 20s and our 30s, so we're gonna have to clean up that mess. So yeah, just prepare yourself for that, because the day is gonna come. And you don't want to be stuck in US dollars. You don't want to be stuck in real estate, probably. I think I'm fairly happy that we do have crypto in this age. Imagine there wouldn't be crypto. There would be no safe haven, really, right now. Right now, at least there's something that is decoupled from control of governments, hopefully, right? and we got it with that. But anyway, to close this whole topic off, it's great for US citizens. Obviously, it's great for liquidity because liquidity is coming back. It seems like the US government is also kicking off quantitative easing again. We know that quantitative tightening is stopping in December. We know that further rate cuts are coming this week. We're gonna see further hints. Right now, there's like a 50-50 chance on Polymarket, to my latest knowledge from a few days ago, on further rate cuts in December. So maybe after this week's FOMC minutes, we might see the Polymarket shift towards one or the other direction. And that extra liquidity might find its way, together with rate cuts and so on, into the markets. And then we might see one more high. I'm not getting tired yet of saying that. So let's see if we can get another high. But for now, I think this shall be the quick rundown and update on the latest macro news and some politic talk to give you the latest and greatest from the real world before we dive into further Solana topics. So if you want to get your rundown on Solana as well, then make sure to check out the video about Solami news as well. Thank you so much.
All right, and rolling straight into the third section, Simon, 3, 2, 1, let's fucking go.
This is Sol Brothers with Simon and Eno, where it's our job to throw you into the Solana rabbit hole and show you around in our exciting ecosystem.
Our mission is to help you stay on top of the latest and greatest so that you never run out of fun things to talk about. Simon, how the fuck are you?
I'm great, doing well. Lots right now that's happening in the markets, lots that happening on the charts as well. It's, it could be better right now, but what it's really interesting, is that Solana keeps fucking shipping. I know it's usually I thought kind of good news should be all pushed when markets go up to create this crazy momentum. Right now, I feel like no one gives a shit about the price, really. At least when it comes to integrations and launching stuff. And there's so much happening on the RWA front, on the tokenization front, on the stablecoin front. New metas like privacy are being born. I feel like Solana's everywhere. And the most important news of the last couple of days are in our agenda for today. And we're going to talk about a registered public debt security that's to be minted natively on Solana. We're going to talk about an application for payments in the USA that is now using, or starting in 2026, using USDC payments on Solana. Who could that be? We're going to talk about the first credit product for permissioned RWAs on Solana. And also we talk about Dupe again. We talked about Dupe before, where you can have like an AI that supports you for shopping, and it all happens on Solana. And they have also some really interesting news that came out. And then besides that, we have institutional yields now on Kamino. We have community spotlights at Breakpoint by Solflare, because they launched something really, really cool. And I want to definitely talk about that with you, as well. And then we have a real farmer pool from SNS that I have on my agenda. And we have the results of the latest SNS proposal as well. And Flashtrade came up with a new idea for a logo, which I definitely don't like. So we're going to look at that as well and get your opinion as well, And yeah, that's the gist of it when it comes to Solana news from this week. Are you ready to dive in,
I am so fucking ready. So first off, we're going to start, of course, with a company called Figure. And what Figure is doing is essentially taking U.S. Treasury bills. They're calling this product YLDS, and they're issuing them on Solana. They're using a fancy name here, which is a registered public debt security, mint natively on Solana. But really what it is just use U.S. Treasury bill debt on chain, which is good. We need more of that. So, congratulations to the Figure team for making so Figure calls themselves building the future of capital markets on blockchain. So yeah, I mean, it's U.S. Treasury bills on chain.
Have you seen them around a lot? I feel like I just heard them a few times now, but not really. Yeah, they seem quite. Either they've been tinkering in the background a lot and haven't made a lot of waves, which is totally legit, or they're new on the block.
They feel fairly new to me. I mean, their account says they've joined since July 2018, so perhaps they've been providing financial services outside of, and that would make sense, right? Like they're also listed on the Nasdaq. So yes, they're a company that's been around for a while, but they're finally building on Solana now, which is great. And this product, YLDS, will be listed by our friends, Exponent Finance. Exponent Finance is essentially a DEX, but for yield, right? So one thing that I find super interesting about Exponent is that they're working on fixed income, fixed interest rate loans in DeFi, which is a first. Because everybody knows that interest rates in DeFi. Well, I mean, if you're in DeFi, you would fucking know. All the rates are variable. So they're building a fixed interest rate product, which is nice. But anyways, that asset, YLDS, will be listed on Exponent Finance.
Is it already there, or it will be there?
Will be there.
Okay. So it was the announcement, and then the actual implementation is going to follow as well.
Yeah, it's going to follow pretty soon, I believe.
It's I like that stuff because it makes the whole DeFi landscape more interesting, because we get more different products right now that we can access. It all started with just liquidity pools, really. So all like super crypto native things where you can get yield for pools, and those pools, they power trading activities on chain. So that was our little sandbox, I feel like we had in the past 24 months. And then now we're coming out of the shadows, and all the institutions are coming, and we're starting to tokenize the fuck out of everything that's out there and make it accessible on DeFi. And now you can lend and borrow against that stuff, and you can multiply these things, and you can get additional yield here and there. 24/7, always open, accessible in every country in the world. No KYC needed, just total access to everything. So I feel like the vision of what Solana is doing is becoming really clear right now, with the whole ICM meta around it, right?
Yeah. In addition to future visions and what would be very, very interesting to see on Solana, we have the biggest cash sending app in the United States, used and loved by Americans, all in every single state of the nation, to square away dinner bills and drug bills. You can now send USDC to addresses.
Wait,
what did I say? Sorry, marijuana. So you can spend $100 on, obviously, a very fancy dinner for yourself and your friends, or to buy an ounce or two. But
is that like a thing? Because I don't know the app.
Yeah, so Cash App is it's every other country in the world has seemed to have figured out peer-to-peer payments in a not dumb way using existing bank systems. I don't know what you use in Germany, but in India they use UPI. In Korea, all the banks just have great bank-to-bank transfers that cost nothing and they're instant. We also have Toss. The US did not figure that out, and so it took a startup, Cash app, to create that flow. Now we have competitors like Zelle. You'll remember that we covered Zelle. Zelle was a reaction to Cash App, because it was like, oh my god, these neobanks or these kind of third-party applications are decoupling the services that banks usually cover, which should be like interbank transfers. But because the banks are so horrendously bad at it, just like they're bad at just about everything, it was an opportunity for a startup, Cash App. So this is almost like a decade ago, if not longer. They've been working on this application. So it has over 58 million users. That's a lot of fucking users, considering that America's population is just about 300, 400 million folks. It's a significant portion of the population. And yes, this app is used for dinner expenses, in every single state of our nation. And you can now send USDC, which I think is very neat. But what I want to see in the video is receiving USDC. That's where I get really excited, because there's really no point in having an application where you can send USDC, but then you can't receive it. Then what are we talking about, right? So yeah, big open question in my head, but that'd be really cool if they could do that.
Another thing that's a question in my head, which there's like they have a little answer to it, but nothing concrete, which is it going to be only Solana, or is it going to be just, hey, Cash App is now supporting crypto, and we're in the Solana bubble, we're all only reading Solana, and we're like, they're using Solana. So from what I'm seeing is that Cash App's USDC feature kicks off exclusively with Solana in 2026, early 2026, for obvious reasons. And it officially teases, though, that multiple stable coins and networks will expand soon after. So that's something that I read in a few news outlets here, Decrypt, CoinPaper. So I think it is like, why do they choose Solana as the first one to do this with? If they're also looking at Base and Ethereum, maybe Bitcoin, some Lightning Network derivatives. Why do I start with Solana? Could it be that Foundation just did another really good job on convincing?
Because obviously we sent them $50 million, Simon. You don't know that's the playbook. We just apparently have an infinite supply of money to pay partners. No, the tech is fucking good, Simon. No, the tech is fucking good, man. It's just that simple.
I think so too, because here's the deal: like you want to take a network that is cheap and fast. So now you have like a few L2s that you can use, or you can use just Solana mainnet, and then you have to. Then these guys are like, okay, what was the difference between all these different blockchains? And then you're like, yeah, the L2 is like an optimistic roll up of the Ethereum. They're like, what the fuck? Or you say it's Solana. Oh, okay. So you don't need to like. There's, I think the pitch is just so much easier for Solana. That a lot of the don't underestimate the importance of simplicity here when it comes to onboarding Wall Street, TradFi, and fintechs to this ecosystem, right? They only want to dig into these whatever the fuck they're doing over Ethereum land, but I think Solana definitely very good sign that we're the first for Cash App with 57 million monthly users right now that are using Cash App that will all have the opportunity at least to transact on Solana. Bullish.
Yeah.
Bullish.
And moving on to even more news, Simon, because we are getting pressed on time, is that the first credit product for permissioned RWAs is live on Solana. In collaboration with Securitize and Global Dollar, this product debuts with Acred, bridging regulated RWA collateral with permissionless stablecoin liquidity. Loopscale obviously is one of the bigger players on Solana to provide looping for a variety of different assets. This includes INF, which is an LST index, as well as just normal assets like, let's say, Bonk. But they're also bridging into permissioned RWA, which is very, very tricky. So Acred provides tokenized access to the Apollo Diversified Credit Fund. Accredited investors can now borrow fixed rate against Acred, providing predictable returns and stability uncommon in DeFi. So I think that's super interesting.
Yeah, permissioned DeFi. So you do have to register. You do have to identify yourself. Yeah, I mean, why not? I mean, people are used to it in Web2 anyways, or in TradFi. But yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy that they expand. Loopscale is cool.
If I had to really guess how this deal went down, there was probably already a B2B customer that they're working with that wanted specifically the Apollo Credit Fund. Since they made it possible for them, they're just rolling it out as an announcement. So if anything, it's probably just like a standalone deal that they did with a specific partner that wanted access to it. But now that they've made it possible for that partner, they're just kind of like, well, this is going to serve two functions. Number one, we're going to announce that it's now possible. And number two, like, I don't know, maybe we pick up a couple of other bigger players out there who also want to join in. So yeah, that's my best guess.
Fair. Yeah, possible.
Hey, so not to be a dupe, but could you please explain to me what the fuck is dupe? Because I'm looking at this app store over here and it says find similar products for less. So it kind of feels like a AI application that looks across the web and sees whether or not you can get a piece of furniture, for example, this chair over here, across a variety of different stores. It might not even be the exact same chair, but at least designed and styled the exact same way. And so now you can find, products for better and cheaper. I just am not familiar and don't remember us ever talking about this token. Like, why the dupe token for this application?
I think I'm pretty sure you've been here with me talking about it. Maybe I've been alone talking about it. Also possible. But it is exactly what you're saying. It is a shopping app that is trying to disrupt how legacy shopping apps work, like Amazon, because here you can do AI-powered deal hunting, basically. So you tell him what you want in a chat function again, and he'll find the best, or she will find the best deals in the whole internet for you, and then you can select whatever you want. I think it looks totally like a Web2 app. It has Web2 logins. It has AI implemented in it. But it does have a token, Dupe, which is trading. And I don't know where it's sitting right now. It used to be at like 20 million FTV as well. I think it's more like a reward token that is being implemented into the app to fuel creative payouts. There's like some utility for brands. They can basically advertise in premium spots if they burn the token. So there's like some interesting ideas around that. Not sure if you need the token for that, obviously. But Anatoly says every company with revenue is going to have a token at some point. So might as well just plug your token in and make sure it has some sort of meaning. At least they're bringing users to Solana or making them aware of Solana, because they have a lot of users. I think they've pushed themselves to the #1 spot on the App Store, which is huge. I'm reading 20 million users that they already got on the app, probably in accumulation. I think in total, not recurring. And I think that's pretty cool. Why not?
Yeah, so these plays always confuse the shit out of me, because it's like when I look, because it really does seem that they've designed it and the language around it is a completely Web2 app. Like they could completely take out the token and this would be a successful business on its own. The only reason why I'm curious as to why they felt the need to launch the Dupe token. Is it because they used the token launch, the TGE, as distribution and marketing, or is there actually a claim function in the application itself that allows you to create a wallet and then hold your dupe? Because what I'm seeing from the screenshots is that you earn points and that you can redeem those points. Perhaps in the redeeming flow, you do get into the process of creating a wallet and then receiving your dupe. I have a lot of questions.
I can also imagine that the founder of Dupe just felt like doing something new, honestly, like pretty straightforward. That is also, something that, like, sometimes it's like Web2 founders that just heard about crypto and they want to do something special, and they think they're innovative, right? Like that is a negative take basically on the whole thing. But then on the other side, don't we want exactly that? Don't we want apps that have crypto completely abstracted away from it and still find a way to utilize it in the background in a way that makes sense? So
I mean, the thing that really makes sense to me is like the Cash App, right? Like Cash App, they can make literally 0 changes to their UI UX. And in the back end, instead of using legacy systems to send over the money, you just use stablecoin for settlement. And then you can also use the on-off ramps that we have to, plug and play with the existing systems that they use. So like that makes a lot of sense to me, right? I just think it's kind of narratively messy narrative, right? In terms of like, well, then how does Dupe fit into the larger? And I'm reading up a little bit more on their timeline. It seems like this was originally a token that was released on Believe. And after being released on Believe, they're now working with Meteora to decouple themselves from the Believe platform and just make it its own standalone token. They have something called the Dupe Flywheel, which I find very interesting.
That's what I talked about last time.
Yeah, 18 million shares. So I definitely was not a part of this conversation, my friend.
Possible.
Yeah. Okay. So so shopping activity leads to earning Dupe token rewards. 23% of the supply already bought back via activity. Token buybacks. Okay. So it's a buyback.
There's a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
There's burns, there's buybacks. They do they do all the things you're supposed to do to create a token with demand. Let's just see how it plays out. I think if they can keep the numbers up when it comes to users, then the token shall perform okay. Honestly, that's my take.
Yeah, that's totally fine. There's also a founder's lunch starting in 20 minutes. So Simon, just letting you know, you got about 14 minutes to make that lunch. So going next.
Where did that? Oh, it's from the chat. That's all right. That's right. We got shit to do. What's next up?
Fine. Yeah. So Gauntlet is releasing 2 new vaults. It's Gauntlet USDC Prime as well as Gauntlet Soul Balanced. I do not know what that means. Deploying our vaults on Camino Lend and Solana is the next step for our mission to provide institutional grade yield opportunities against DeFi. So yeah, essentially you have a lot of new players, that are coming into the space and they're releasing their own products on top of existing protocols, which is, you're going to see a lot more of this because institutions, when they come into Solana, are not going to know how to do any of this shit. And so what they want is to be able to leverage their branding on top of Solana infrastructure, which is exactly the work that we do at Sanctum anyways, and is going to be true more and more for other protocols as well, whether it be Camino or Drift or Era or whatever the hell it is.
And if I'm not mistaken, Gauntlet isn't really Solana native.
No,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So they work with. I know them from the Ethereum ecosystem, so they work with all the ETH layers and so on. Some exchanges, I think, but they obviously saw some sort of reason to expand to Solana markets. Obvious reasons.
Yes. And moving on over to sponsor news, or the people who make this podcast possible. The first sponsor update that we want to cover are from our friends at Solflare, right? They have this really cool awards ceremony they're going to have over at Breakpoint. Simon, you excited for Breakpoint, Abu Dhabi, my friend?
Yes, sir. Excited for Breakpoint, as always.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a really good time. And they are working with Solana Foundation to work on something called Community Spotlights. It's a 90-minute mix of awards, comedy, and celebration on day 3 of Breakpoint. 2 categories, 14 awards, 1 fast, unforgettable ceremony. So the first category is going to be the builder category, right? And the second builder category is going to be community and culture. And obviously a bunch of different awards within those categories. So an example would be for builders, the Rising Star Consumer App, right, is an example of a builder award. Whereas like Best Content Creator, Soul Brothers, is an example of a community and culture award. So it's like the Oscars, but for Breakpoint.
That is actually a very good description. The Oscars for Breakpoint by Solflare, the main sponsor of Breakpoint 2025. And I think we want the Solana Ambassador Award, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's the one we qualify for the best. I did some reading, and shout out to Jay, who already submitted us as a candidate for the Solana Ambassador Award. Yeah, exactly. Here we go.
Yeah, the former Soul Brothers intern is now working over at Solflare. We love Jay, aka the Clop, and he was very, very, very kind in his recommendation to us as the Solana Ambassador Award, which is correct. That is the the award that we're angling for. We should definitely we should make a campaign video off of this, like almost like an Oscar campaign video.
we need to. I'm pretty sure we need to cook. Yeah. So but yeah, I mean, you guys hear it here from us first and foremost that this is our award. So make sure to vote for us. I don't even know where you can vote, honestly. Maybe on side, or that's something I'm not clear yet.
Yeah, this looks like the Breakpoint website. When I look at the
but right now you can only submit candidates. That's I think.
I see. Well, that's probably how the voting works, right? Like whoever gets the most. I could be wrong about this, but whoever gets the most nominations is probably also going to be, I don't know, the people who win. So, anywho, we have the Solana Ambassador Awards that are coming up, the Oscars of Breakpoint on day 3. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Another announcement from Solflare, they do a lot of community work. One piece of community work that they're doing is Demo Day with Monkey Foundry. For those of you who are uninitiated and do not know what Monkey Foundry is, it's essentially a small kind of incubator for Solana startups, right? So you can kind of think of it as like YC, run by Monkey DAO. So anywho, this Monkey DAO YC startup incubator in partnership with Soulflare has a demo day, right? Real builders, real projects, real alpha. Our friend Moon Sedler, who's one of the chief executives of Monkey DAO, is leading this initiative. And of course, here's a little clip of between both Quix as well as Moon Sedler, to talk about Monkey Foundry.
Nice. Yeah, I think Build with Monkey DAO was the former organization name, and then they rebranded and remajiggered a little bit, and now they are I want to place it somewhere in this podcast. That's an insider joke.
I don't like the way you said it. I mean, I
have no idea if I used it correctly. For me, it's just a word that I can plug in wherever.
You used it correctly, but you're clearly mocking me. Fuck you.
Whatever. I mean, I had to do it. Cool. What's next? What else we got?
Yeah. Our friends over in SNS are working with BuyReal, which is an offshoot of Bybit. It's the on-chain equivalent of Bybit, and it's headed up by our friend Emily. I think she likes to call herself the queen of Bybit Soul, which is quite funny. And the SNS community is stepping into BuyReal's real farmer season. And so farm with your people, copy, paste, and earn. Why is this not moving? Copy, share, and earn together, provide liquidity, bring your friends, and unlock extra revenue with the SNS Real Farmer pool. So, there's a BuyReal Real Farmer season. You can check it out here over at the BuyReal Twitter. They're calling it copy farming, which is quite interesting. So, essentially, you have here's the use case, right? You like to farm for airdrops. You like to participate on chain. You have no idea what to do, but you do have a friend that you know for a fact is very good at farming these points programs and or providing their liquidity where it is required. And so what you can do is just like copy farm them, right? Whatever on-chain activity that they have, your wallet will copy. I would like to, I'm sure that there's some safeguards here, but the salient point being that like, hey, you don't know how to trade on your own, then you copy trade. You don't know how to farm on your own, you copy farm. So that is what SNS is working with BuyReal.
That is so interesting. I think we haven't really heard about the concept before from anyone else. Copy farming. It's a cool use case because you're saving a shitload of time, right? Like, because it's usually very time consuming to stay on top of, okay, where the fuck do I need to provide liquidity and do that and do this to farm airdrops. And now you can just follow someone else's steps. That makes a lot of sense. In partnership with BuyReal, also really good. BuyReal is the DEX of Bybit, so definitely significant player in the market. Good to see. 100%. SNS always shipping. Who else is always shipping?
SNS is still shipping, by the way, because we just passed. We already knew this a couple of days ago in our conversation with Christian. But long story short, the update to referral program tiers has been passed. If I understand this correctly, this is the first governance proposal that's passed for SNS. They have had other governance proposals that were very heavily in favor, but they didn't reach quorum last time. So they made a couple of adjustments, and now with 34.6 million SNS voting, they have reached quorum. And essentially what this means is that for lower amounts of SNS tokens held, you can now earn juicier and juicier referral bonuses. In the past, you've had to hold ungodly amounts of SNS in order to qualify for 20% cut for the referrals, as well as 5% discounts for the people you're referring. But now you can achieve that with far less SNS. So that is a very exciting development. And of course, moving on to our friends over at Flash Trade. What the fuck is this logo, Simon? I hate it.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're joking. Maybe they just want engagement. They're just farming engagement, probably. Or the designer made like an April Fool's a bit too early or something. It's like, hey guys, I have this new beautiful idea. You're gonna like it.
Yeah. Look, I don't know who. Anas, Zoheb, Mags. I love you. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah, I think it's less serious. Hopefully, the rebranding that you guys did before from old Flash to new Flash is cool. It feels new now. It feels a bit more, timely, let's say. But we don't need that one. Especially we don't need a new one anyway now. Like it's already the comment I wrote there was like, the old one is new. Just keep it. This was my comment.
I actually really love this comment. I'm gonna stop using Flash Trade if this is the new one.
Yeah, that's what you get. That's what you get on Twitter.
Yeah,
for doing that.
And one last Flash Trade announcement before we close off this entire podcast. The latest and greatest on Solana is that there is a very special Ask Me Anything session between Flash Trade and Super Team Japan. We know that those two organizations are very close. It's going to be this Thursday, 9 p.m. JST. I do not know. That's about the same time as Korea. So I believe that's, so I believe that's 1 p.m. CST. If I'm not mistaken, or CET. Central, it's like the central, whatever the standard is for central time that everyone uses and has decided, like that's the global standard. Yeah, I think it's like 1 p.m. that global standard time.
That would be UTC.
Yeah, UTC. Correct. Yes. No, that's what I meant. Sorry. I apologize. He's correct. I believe it's 1 p.m. UTC. Cool. So, yeah. Special AMA session.
You can just click the X space as well and set a reminder for this one, because I think it's going to be cool. Because you're going to learn about things like the upcoming Margin Engine v2 and what it means for Flash Trade. We talk about it here and there as well. And maybe Anas will also find the time to talk a little bit about the peer-to-pool model, which is also quite unique, the way Flash Trade works. Obviously, there's other perp decks as well out there that work a similar way. But right now, I think they are pretty much... Yeah, they have they have definitely an interesting... JLP is also peer-to-pool, if you consider that, but Flash has much more categories because you have different pools for different assets, since they have so many commodities listed, commodities secured, so many tokens listed. I didn't sleep so much last night. Sorry for that. But yeah, ladies and gents, and everyone in between, that has been your update, your latest and greatest from Solana News. We hope that you learned something today. If you didn't, then you probably didn't pay attention. Make sure to tune in again for the next one when it's time again for Sol Brothers updates later this week. Until then, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube account, follow us on Twitter, and maybe even like this video if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're not watching on YouTube, then subscribe to YouTube and like the video then. That would be beautiful, because it will help us to get more visibility for all our great content that we're pushing out together with our team here. Putting in a lot of work. Obviously, we're having fun here with all of you, but higher. We want to be higher. So, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you at the next one. Until then, you have a good start of the week. Peace out.
Adios.
Adios. Okay, we did it. I think we did it. Now we just have the timeline reactions, and then we're good to go. We can do these even off stream, I think we can do them off stream.
Yeah, sounds good.
Because they're a bit more background work here, backstage work. Guys, thanks for being in the live stream as well with us. And you can come again on Thursday. We're going to have an interview on Thursday, and we're also going to have an EP on Thursday as always. So make sure to pull up for that one. Until then, stream as well. Thanks for joining. And we'll see ya.
Adios.
Adios again.